Hello, ladies and gentlemen of Superkickin with Stephen and Greg, your favorite two hosts right here. Stephen A. 1181, the Wiz over there, getting ready for his Chiefs to get back in action tomorrow. Bye week. Hopefully, they're all kind of healed up and ready to go. And my Colts, they have the Titans tomorrow. So there you go. Almost forgot. Have to see if anybody's playing. Greg, I don't know if you've seen the injury list for my Colts, but it might as well be a 3 or 4 page list of people. So, and not just like no name guys like third or fourth linemen, more like Jonathan Taylor and Kenny Moore and names that you've actually heard of, like Michael Pittman Jr., who could be on IR. So that's what a fantastic way to go about the season right now. So, anyways, but we got stuff to talk about. We got bad blood to bring up. Let's just get right into it, Greg. I know we're on the time crunch, so give the people. We're going to tell you all about bad blood, and then his WrestleDream tonight, Greg. Possibly Brian Danielson's last match as a full-time wrestler. I don't think it's be the last we see him in, but so yeah, we got to talk that up because it's very interesting to see. So. Some stuff from Bad Blood. So we did start off the night with Hell in a Cell. 5-star match all the way, Greg. I think this got a 9.3 or something like that. It's already ranked in the top ever of star ratings for WWE, Greg. So everything was thrown there. I think you described it best as an AEW style match that they could get away with. And, plenty of bumps to take in. The one that Drew took on the steel steps, where his back just almost looked like it bent, that thing, yeah. I mean, Drew and CM Punk, and to think, CM Punk came out the next night, Greg, and it was our 2 nights later, but it was definitely showing the wear and tear of what that match did. So, and I think I like Drew being off TV just because that sells it even more. Yep. And now, like we said, we could get even more unhinged Drew McIntyre. I just don't know. I think we see the player for CM Punk, Greg. I don't know where Drew McIntyre is going to go after this. So give me your own take on it. And did the right person win?
Yeah. Like I said, I got my wish. I got an AEW match in a WWE ring with this match. And just like you said, all the stars, all the fire flames, it was awesome. And both of them delivered on their promise. They made each other bleed badly. When Punk hit Drew with that toolbox,
yeah,
and he just started gushing blood, I was like, holy crap. Okay, that wasn't planned, but
yeah, that was a nice throw.
It was a great visual.
Yeah.
And the squeamish turn away, but it was amazing. They brought everything, and even, and they still kept the psychology in it with Drew bringing out the black bag. We know the history of the black bag. What's in the bag? Glass, tacks,
beads.
And then, this time we got beads for the first time ever. A bag full of beads,
and probably the last time.
And genius storytelling in the middle of a car crash of a match.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. I can't applaud him enough. And like you said, it was very appropriate and sells the point even more that Drew wasn't on the show, especially after taking that bump, missing the Claymore kick and landing small in the back first on the steel steps. And I cringed huge when I saw that because there's no
a Randy Orton bump right there. Randy Orton on the monitor from WrestleMania 30. His back out that corner, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that probably wasn't intended.
Yeah, there's no way to land right for that one, and everybody felt that one. Mm-hmm. And Punk coming out 2 days later and not making it past the stage.
Yeah,
does the same thing. He didn't do the glory walk all the way to the ring because he couldn't. Yeah. So, did the right man win? We'll see, because I saw rumors, and I guess they're people are reporting that that may have been Punk's last match. That he had some real injuries that is going to affect the rest of his wrestling career. And we saw him stumble out of the cage, have to get oxygen. And
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of reports that that match had too big a toll on him, and he's not going to be cleared to wrestle again ever. So,
but then you also think you don't do the stare down with Seth Rollins if
right.
you don't. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying it's not, not a thing. I mean, maybe it does, now that he's home and gets the right care, but I don't think you do the little interaction with Seth Rollins, and then even have Seth call him out,
Right.
on it. So I just don't know where the plan is for Drew.
I know.
I mean,
Like you said, he can come back a lot more unhinged now. And, you know, we love a good, strong heel, and Drew has done everything to level up his game,
yeah,
uh, in ring, on the mic, on social media, and he has taken himself to the heights he's never been before. So I want to see what he's going to do next, and I think whenever he comes back, he's going to get thrown into the top of the card because he's shown he can carry a program.
yeah. I mean, because if you look at kind of the main where WrestleMania is probably headed, Rock and Cody probably. Or maybe if you do that earlier, but Gunther maybe Drew and Gunther, but I don't know if we want to do heel on heel there. And
Right.
who's Gunther? There might be other ideas for him. So I guess is it the John Cena factor? Maybe Drew, maybe Cena's, you know, partook and asked for Drew for his last match or something like that. Uh, I'm just trying to think of where else Drew could fit in, but obviously he's going to be there at Mania. It's just going to be an interesting road for him because right now, like we said, we don't see a path for him. But
Yeah.
right now, so we did have Nia Jax defeat Bayley Greg, but we did not get what we both predicted, I believe, that Tiffany would walk out champion. I mean, it's still feeling like it's got to come sooner rather than later. Do you think we're just going to blow it off on a SmackDown now, Greg? Because Survivor Series is still a little bit away. There is Crown Jewel November 2nd. I don't think, I don't know if I want Tiffany's cash in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Especially with you're making a big deal about this is going to be, it's going to be a championship that's only in Saudi Arabia. It won't be mentioned anywhere else. So, what do you think we do with we just keep it? I just don't think you can keep lowering it off too much longer. It's obviously right there for us, and we just got to make it work.
Right. And they're still building it and building it. And like I said, like you said, I don't want her to win it in Saudi Arabia. That would be a miss for me. I want to see it here on home turf and getting the reaction she deserves. And I don't think she's going to get the reaction she deserves in Saudi Arabia. So I think just save it for November, save it for Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm.
And but we can't go much further than that. I don't want her to still have it by beginning of the year. So
there's just too much there that it just makes too much sense.
yeah.
I mean, maybe if whenever Nia Jax and Naomi go at it, maybe that plays a part. Tiffany inserts herself in there because Naomi beat Tiffany, so maybe Tiffany can pin Naomi, and then that protects Nia, from losing the title in a way. So, yeah, but nothing really. The match really didn't do anything for us, did it, Greg?
No, it was another Nia Bayley match.
Yeah.
Man.
And I know we don't have it, but I guess we could bring up real quick so we did have Triple H announce there will be the Saudi, whatever they're going to call it, the Clash of Champions Championship, the Ultimate Championship, but it's not going to be taken around. They're just going to do it at the Crown Jewel Championship, whatever. And then also we saw his name, who I don't want to say here, Greg, but he has blocked me on Twitter. He kind of had a run-in with Gunther. Is that something we think will actually happen? Gunther versus him, who I don't want to name.
Hmm. All right. Well, let's get it. Who did you piss off? I didn't even know that you.
Oh, you didn't see Goldberg?
No, I didn't see. Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
he blocked you or whatever.
yeah, he
Uh,
blocked me, but that's okay.
that's kind of
I've
funny.
had a few, yeah. So Goldberg and Gunther, not obviously not at Saudi, because if we're gonna continue this, champion versus champion, do we play Gunther versus Goldberg at Survivor Series?
Oh my God, I hope not. That would be horrible. And that was a great segment right there with Gunther and Goldberg, where
Yeah.
Gunther is just so good at deadpanning the hardest shots, just right here between the eyes. And he got Goldberg with a few good ones that popped me huge.
Yeah.
Where he goes, come on in the ring. I got 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, he had a few good zingers like that
Mhm.
weren't lies. I mean, you got a
Tell me
Goldberg
when I'm
match.
telling lies.
Don't plan more. Don't plan more than 5 minutes for the man.
Yeah.
So just that's shots behind the fourth wall right there,
Mhm.
and just bringing in Gage and talking about him, and all I want to see is the the little the little tiff, but I don't want to see Goldberg in the match. I don't want to see Goldberg wrestling again ever. I'm just sign your Legends contract, go sign your autographs, and be done with it. He is not valuable aside from a nostalgia factor for guys our age.
Yeah.
So, um, he's more than outworn his usefulness.
Mhm.
Uh, Unlike someone like Brock, who can come back and be right at the top of the card
Mhm.
because he never is, not ready.
Yeah.
So, um, I'd not want to see a match. Saudi Arabia loves Goldberg for some reason,
I-
but
Yeah.
uh, let's leave it at some type of, you know, microphone skirmish and be good with that. So,
Yeah. I don't know. I think the writing. I mean, I don't think you have him in the ring and confront Gunther if you don't have some plan for it. And even Triple H saying we'll talk soon. So, Survivor Series, here we come, because there's probably no other plan for Gunther at Survivor Series right now. And we're gonna have the big Bloodline Civil War, Greg. So, whatever. It's a
yep,
bathroom break. So, uh,
exactly.
Damian Priest defeats Finn Balor. This feels like it's going to keep going, and it probably needs to have Finn go to the Demon, right, and let the Demon get his aura back, get a win back, because he's actually lost twice now, I think, as because he lost at Extreme Rules and he lost to Edge as the Demon. So
Hmm.
time for Finn Balor to maybe get some aura back with that, and I think Damian Priest would be okay to lay down, in that regard, especially since he's got this first shot. So plenty of shenanigans with the Judgment Day, street trash as they like to call. Maybe we'll and let's get into Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, because that was nothing was cooking there, Greg. I felt like both women, and then the Raquel factor. We we called Raquel coming back, Greg, but
Yeah,
yeah, she
not in this way.
something was just off in that whole match. I mean, and I thought it was funny with the Dominic Mysterio. I'm like, he wasn't even over the ring; he was outside the ring, and just hanging there. He did fall out, of course, and had to take some nice kendo stick shots. I guess the ending was supposed to be like Raquel putting Liv on top of her, on top of Rhea. Maybe the ref comes in to count it, and then Raquel would get out. But the ref kind of just called off the match right away. So yeah, something, either they were short on top, or either they were running over because of maybe the Goldberg and Gunther stuff in that Triple H announcement, Greg, because that did seem like it took a little bit longer than needed. But
Yeah.
there was something off with just the whole pacing of Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. It just didn't click. So Hopefully both women can move on, but they're obviously not. So
Yeah, I thought the match was going well until we got to the point where Dominic got the cage door open.
and then
And
it
how in
just
the
kind
world
of
did he
fell
get the cage
apart.
door open?
Yeah.
I thought it was supposed to lock the shark cage. And, um, they never said how he got the door open. And then he falls out and is hung by, or, is hanging by his leg,
Yeah.
which I thought he was going to get really hurt because the way he came out, it's like he was supposed to take the bump on the mat, and then nope, he's strung up by his leg.
He's
So,
just hanging there for a little bit.
so yeah, I wonder if that was the plan, or how that was written in. But after that, the whole match went sideways, and getting Raquel involved. So that's where it spun out for me, and
And Raquel
things
needed,
are
I think we did say Raquel needed a change of pace. So I'm
yeah.
okay with the shift to that. So, and she's already got a friendship with Liv. So, and now maybe you could do Raquel and Rhea, powerhouses, and
Mm-hmm.
let that play out. So, and then finally we did have the. Sorry, did you have any other thoughts? I didn't mean to move on too quickly. It was
No, go
probably
ahead.
it's
Wrestling
probably
was I
pretty.
was thinking too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did have Cody Rhodes and Roman, of course, defeat the Bloodline. Greg, everything I thought was clicking here. The crowd was into it. The crowd was hot tagging. And then The Rock shows up with a little stare down, and people are sharing on social media Solo going up the stairs saying this is all part of the plan. Now, they've not played that part out on TV yet, Greg, but obviously that's part of the plan. So uh, I thought, book in with good stuff at the start and finish. So, pretty solid Bad Blood. I don't think we'll see it again, Greg. I think it is a one-time thing just because of the history of Hell in a Cell. I think they played it into that, but I don't mind bringing back these, old school Attitude Era pay-per-views for the nostalgia factor once, and then you just go away from them.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely fit the title. Bad Blood. We had all the grudge matches all rolled up into one,
Mm-hmm.
and they delivered. Even, I think the last match was my least favorite, aside from the end of the, well, both the Judgment Day matches, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah,
But it still lived up to the hype, and um, I think Punk and Drew match of the night for sure. Uh, the Cody Roman match got its point across, got the Rock involved, and let's not forget we got the return of Jimmy,
yes. Sorry, we
and
did have Jimmy back,
we
and
got
then last night you had Jimmy saying we need him. So now we're totally moving forward with we got to get Jay back. Then I
yep.
guess is it Cody or Sammy who rounds it out? Because do we
I don't
do?
think it could be Cody.
I guess it depends on if we do 4-on-4 or 5-on-5.
Right. I mean, just Sammy makes a lot more sense. The honorary Uce.
Yeah,
Uh, I
and
think
I
it's
don't think
definitely
we
got to
need the
be him.
Rock in the War Games match.
Do we think he will be?
No, I said do we? I don't think we need him in there.
No, we don't.
I think he could
Um,
kind of be the head of the table on that side, calling the shots from outside or something like that.
sure. Um, but yeah, I think he's going to need Jay and Sammy, and then I think there's going to be another Fatu brother brought in on Roman's side. I think there's going to be
Okay.
another that we don't know about,
Okay.
or at least not signed yet.
Yeah.
There's Zilla Fatu, who's wrestling in GCW right now. Um, Young
Oh,
kid, probably 2021, and looks as much of a beast as everybody else. And I think there's another Fatu rolling around somewhere. Um, I can't think of a name, but I think that we're gonna get another one, another Samoan thrown into the mix, and we're gonna have a even 5-on-5
okay. Yeah.
war game. So we just don't know who that fifth man is, but it's not gonna be Cody, and I think it's gonna be Sammy, and then another um, one brought in from outside.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's do some WrestleDream predictions. Just skip all this. Oops, did skip that head. This graphic is kind of small, so I'm going to go full straight so I can see it. Let's start with Swerve Strickland. He's coming back tonight, Greg. Does that mean we get the almighty Lashley in a debut tonight?
I think so. I think so that we're getting a Hurt Business 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
That this is going to be Swerve is going to come out and side with MVP
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh, tonight?
really, what?
Do you think tonight Swerve does that? I think we need
Um,
Swerve like going to blows with them first.
no,
I don't think I want to just blow it away right now. I mean, it makes sense that Swerve will join them eventually, right?
yeah, I think there'll be a microphone interaction with him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That while Swerve's doing his speech, that MVP will come in and interrupt him,
Mm-hmm.
and
Bring
push
out
him.
Bobby.
And one thing I've always gave Swerve credit is for he's always stayed true to his original
That's
character.
true. Yeah.
Even when he became a fan favorite, he stayed the same Swerve. He didn't
Yeah.
change
You're right.
and start placating to the audience. I love you guys, yada yada, and
Mm-hmm.
do all that business. He always stayed the same,
Mm-hmm.
and people just loved him because we love a believable heel. Plus, Nana doing the dance and everything that just offsets his his demeanor,
Mm-hmm.
yin and yang kind of effect. And it was easy to like him, even though he's the most sadistic person on the roster almost.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if he comes out and maybe not tonight, but a week from now, 2 weeks from now, cast Nana aside, whether it's by, knocking him out or just telling him on the mic that you're fired,
Yeah.
that's going to take that element away and people are going to be actually booing him.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And his character's not going to change, but we're going to hate him now because he's cast off Nana. There's not going to be any more dancing coming to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have MVP there. And, the new Hurt Business.
Yeah.
We got Shelton already. Lashley, I think, is all elite already. We just don't have the official proclamation
Mm-hmm.
that that's going to be an awesome faction, and that's just going to solidify Swerve on the dark side of things.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. What about Darby Allin and Brody King? These guys are just feuding. I might have missed a couple episodes of Dynamite, but feels like these guys always come to blows here and there. But I'm going to go with Darby for the win. Brody probably needs it more because I feel like he's just kind of the odd man out of the House of Black at times, Greg. But they still believe strongly in Darby Allin. So crazy to think that Darby was scheduled probably to fight for the title, Greg, and now he's fighting Brody King. So
right
there you go. So
um,
Darby or Brody, who are you going with?
um, I like last time I did went over the history between the two, and they actually had a in-ring promo,
Yeah.
and I hadn't seen Brody King say more than "woof woof woof."
Mm-hmm.
I think in the whole time we've seen maybe a couple of the vignettes with the
Yeah,
House of Black
yeah,
backstage,
he's been in the vignette.
but yeah,
I
he's
don't
he's
think he's
been a
ever
man
been
of
in the ring.
he's been a man of few words, but right here with Darby, he said more in one promo than I've heard him speak since he got here.
Yeah.
And they did a good back and forth on the mic, and it got me into their stories, and they went behind the fourth wall, and Darby's talking about Brody being broke and having to support his wife and children, and
Mhm.
uh, being the reason that Brody has a job,
Yeah.
and Brody being the one that's choked him out on multiple occasions, wants to win the battle royal, I believe, and so good history, good back and forth, and then they finished it nicely with Darby hitting Brody in the mouth with a rock, that brick he was holding on to in his last week's promo,
Mhm.
busted him up, bleeding from the mouth and everything. So good gritty promo, which you would expect between those two. Um, So I don't know. I'm kind of feeling Brody in this one, just
Yep.
because Darby hasn't found a way to beat him yet. Once he gets him in that half, sleeper, half rear naked choke, that he doesn't have the leverage or the strength to get out of it. So um, I don't know. I think it may happen again. That he does the coffin drop and Brody wraps the arms, catches him around the neck, and chokes him out again.
Yep. How about Hangman Page and Jay White? Jay White back to a good guy, I guess. And that, do we just end up seeing them teaming up at some point, Craig? Just because they're both unhinged characters that could probably be better together than apart.
Maybe.
I'm gonna
Any
pull for Hangman, but Jay White just coming back, I feel like he needs to win more. So let's say official prediction: Jay White.
Okay. I think anybody standing next to Heyman is going to be the good guy. So
yeah, that's true.
I love what they're doing with Hangman, and I feel a disqualification because Heyman gets loose starts wailing on with chairs or whatnot.
Yeah.
So I think Jay White wins by disqualification, but he still takes the beat down at the end.
All right. How about
until the Bullet Club comes to save him?
Yeah, the Bang Bang Gang. So
yeah, the Bang.
Jericho getting another title shot. Yeah, just give me Mark Briscoe for the win. Kind of crazy that we are seeing the ROH title being defended on this pay-per-view, though, right, Greg?
Yeah, I dig it. I mean, that's one of the stomping grounds of ROH, isn't it? Up in the Northwest.
Sure. I have to check my history on that, but I just know with their own pay-per-views usually that's why I'm surprised. But then again, you have Mark Briscoe and Jericho, both AW, main roster guys. So
I like it.
Jericho win he already won the Ring of Honor World Title once, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
He beat Cesaro.
Yep, and that's where he became the Ocho.
Yeah, so
yeah,
he ain't winning it again.
No, especially not after invoking Jay's name in vain.
Yeah,
and clicking that switch in Mark, where he's happy to bark at the mic and make crazy faces, but you say his brother's name disrespectfully, then you see that switch turn on, and he get dead serious, and just his tone changes, his facial expression changes, and his whole posture changes. And you're like, yep, that's what would happen with any of us when somebody who doesn't know us would speak ill of, one of our relatives who's passed on. That switch turns on automatically, and you mess with the wrong one then. And he's just come out in this last promo and he goes like, "I'm gonna hurt you." No funny business, no barking, no crazy talk, no word of the day. It's like, "I'm just gonna hurt you." And so I expect to see ROH level violence out of Mark Briscoe, and he's going to retain for sure.
Yep. I'm going to go for a hologram and 2 out 3 falls. I would love for one of these matches just to go 2-0, Greg, and be done. But we know that 2 out 3 falls always end up in a 1-1 tie. I think other than Kurt Angle and Brock, when Brock swept, I think he did a 2-pin fall, but I feel like they're a little bit higher in the hologram. But hey, they're giving both guys a main event or pay-per-view match. So they're very high in both guys, Greg. I think hologram gets the win in this one. What about yourself?
Who's he in there with? I can't see it on the poster.
The Beast Mortos.
Mortos. Okay, I like it. Yeah, it's going to be one of those. Going to be 1-1 to the third fall for sure. Mortos has been awesome, and I didn't think I'd like him because I don't dig the giant mask, and it plays a part of the suspending disbelief. How you're going to get in your punches and your super kicks on a man with a giant mask on his face.
Hurt
Um,
yourself more than the other.
right. And of course, if you start to hold your hand and start headbutting you, that's going to suck really bad.
Yeah.
Um, but Mortos is like super athletic, which you wouldn't expect for a guy his size, and moves like a luchador. So it's going to be a fun match. And they've been talking about Hologram being on I think, 13 or 14 match win streak right now.
Okay. Yeah.
And so they got that going in. Mortos probably hasn't lost many matches since he's shown up. But I don't know. I think we're going to carry on with the undefeated angle, and Hologram's going to win.
Young Bucks Private Party. Private Party finally finally kind of back on the right end of things, Greg. It felt, there I always talk about the beginning of AEW. Those guys seemed like on a rocket to stardom, and then, COVID hit, and I think they just got derailed a lot. I think the crowd kind of just stopped caring about them. And, I still don't feel like the crowd's feeling them that much. But hey, they're putting on good matches, and this is all the Young Bucks. So I think the Young Bucks keep rolling, because I don't think it's time for the Young Bucks to give up their titles yet. Not sure who to, Greg, but Young Bucks win in this match against Private Party for me. How about you?
Yep, I agree. Bucks win. Like they're rebuilding Private Party and trying to make him more legitimate.
Yeah.
It worked with the teams before. It's worked with the Acclaim. It's worked with the Gun Brothers.
That's true.
So they've taken teams that have fallen off to the wayside and rebuilt them and made them legitimate to where we care about them again. So I think that may be where they're going with.
So they got a formula.
Yep. So I think it may happen for them if they keep on this path and they, collect some victories against, formidable teams. It just won't be this one, but it's a good place to get started if you can give the Bucks, a good, strong 4 or 5 star match and get us thinking about him again.
I'm calling Jack Perry over Shibata, Greg. I think it's going to be a big night for the Elite so that they can keep rolling. You got Jack Perry, you got Shibata in the TNT Championship match.
Yeah, I agree with you that Jack Perry's going to find some way to cheat his way to a win. I like Shibata, but they haven't done much with. I know he's out with injury for a while, and he's just been back for a month maybe.
Yeah.
So talk about rebuilding somebody. They're gonna have to do that with him because out of sight, out of mind, and we hadn't seen much out of him before he got injured. So more work with him to do. But so yeah, Jack Perry.
Mariah May all over Will Nightingale. I don't think there's any doubt there, Greg. Any doubt there?
Nope, no doubt. Mariah carries on.
Do we see Tony Storm maybe come back to confront Mariah May?
Yeah, I think she at least comes out on the ramp and makes her presence known again. You haven't seen her since she lost in Wembley.
I think
right?
It's time
In Wembley.
to bring her back. Yeah. She's
So
been in Japan for a little bit. I think it's obviously this is up in Tacoma, Washington, which I would think is just a short flight from Japan. So if she needs to get back to Japan, she can get there, Greg. But I think we need to finish off do one more match of Tony Storm and Mariah May and kind of let that play out. So
that was my next question. Is she going to come back as timeless, or are we going to get?
I don't know who. I think you'll get a mix of timeless / the real Tony. Maybe a mixture. Or an incarnation of that. So, but I think it's time. I don't know any other woman that is ready to step into that role. But now this one I'm kind of mixed. So we got Ricochet, Will Ospreay, Takeshita. I think you have the Kyle Fletcher wild card, Greg, because either he could be there to help Will Ospreay retain somehow, even the odds, fully, get himself away from the family, or he can help Takeshita, and then he's fully on board with the family. And I've been wanting something for Takeshita for what, a while now, Greg.
Yeah.
I mean that international championship would be nice on Takeshita. Finally gives the family of Don Callis something. So I'm gonna pull the freaking upset, Greg. I'm gonna say Takeshita gets the win with the help of Kyle Fletcher because I think we need Kyle Fletcher on the dark side.
Mhm.
I think he needs that more than a face roll because you got Will Ospreay who's kind of on. I don't think Will Ospreay needs him either. I think they both need. They've been each other. They've been tag team for a while. And they've always kind of been in each other. So I think it's time. Will Ospreay's obviously grown on his own. Now it's time for Fletcher to do his thing on his own with the family. I guess that sounds kind of redundant, Greg, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Not on Will Ospreay's coattails. How about that? But so I'm going to say Takeshita gets the title tonight, and I feel maybe 50%, 33% chance, Greg. No. So yeah, but I do think it's time. I mean, I know Will Ospreay does still feel like he just won that title, but I'm okay with this kind of secondary title, short runs, Greg. So
Sure. Um, I totally buy into that line of thought because I think that the Kyle Fletcher turn is imminent for
uh-huh.
sure.
Yeah.
You can kind of sense it in their last interaction last week.
Mhm.
They had a match, and he wouldn't use the screwdriver, but you could tell he was thinking about it
Yeah.
when they were doing the Osprey beatdown, and they gave him the screwdriver and told him go do it, and he wouldn't do it. But for a second, you can see it where he thought about it for a second, and then he forced himself not to do it. So you can tell he's holding back, and you know the
Down
dark
to the
side
bottom.
is pulsating in and waiting to explode. So
Mhm.
it is coming, and no better time to do it than on a big event, big show like this,
Yeah.
and really show the world, okay, I'm on my own guy now. I'm not Will Ospreay's little buddy,
Mhm.
and Will Ospreay is going to be fine without the belt. He
Yeah.
is a made man.
Mhm.
So, um, and getting rid of that frees him up to chase the world title. So,
Mhm.
um, I can definitely see that happening, and then to look at Ricochet in the middle of these two. Um, it's a good spotlight for Ricochet, but I'm not feeling it for him yet. I hope he does win because I want to see what he can do with a push and getting a more high profile
Yeah.
um, than he did on WWE TV. So,
And he could
uh,
side with Osprey in this feud with the family because you
true,
need Ricochet in a program anyway. So
right?
I would think I'd be. I know, when you have the adversaries become, friends now or whatever. So enemies become adversaries. So I think you could play that line that, yeah, we've had so many good battles. Now we got this one enemy. So I think,
Yeah,
like you said, Ricochet, I think he'll get his moments in the match, Greg, but it's more about,
yeah, the
what's
family.
Don Callis going to do to, help Takeshita or like you said, does Kyle Fletcher pull the trigger? So,
Yeah, you know
um,
me, I'm a Takeshita fan, and so I think it's the right move to put it on him, put that title on the family,
mhm.
and get Takeshita a push, a long overdue push,
Yeah.
because the guy's awesome, and he's one of the Japanese characters they've done right.
Mhm.
Um, I'm still waiting on Okada, but maybe this sets off something between Takeshi and Okada, and they have better matches being both Japanese and
Yeah.
being able to call their own shots, not have to worry about the language barrier. So but that's another story for another day. But I'm
Mhm.
going to go with you and go with the upset is
Okay.
a
Yeah.
Takeshita wins.
All right. What about Moxley, Brian Danielson? I feel like we have the elephant in the room, Greg. We also have Christian Cage with his contract. He could cash it in. And then what did Moxley? A lot of people are talking about. Moxley keeps talking about, oh, you don't know what we're really fighting for. Could there be another debut in a Here Comes the Money at the end of the night when Moxley's holding that title high, Greg, and Shane McMahon makes his debut into AEW and shows that, yeah, he wants to take this over. Maybe that gives a power struggle between him and Tony Khan, because Lord knows we love power struggles with authority figures, Greg. So, yeah, there's a lot of moving factors here. I probably have Christian Cage cash in his contract so he is rid of it. Even if he lose, he's going to lose, Greg. So I would be okay with that. But I'm going to call Moxley for the win. But at the end of the evening, we get the full debut because, hey, like you said, it's a pay-per-view. So let's just AEW doesn't like to let things breathe, do they, Greg? So why not?
Right.
If you got Shane McMahon in your back pocket, you break that glass and you say, come on out. Guess I'll be interested to see if he can come out to Here Comes the Money. Or what what he can do. Maybe he just comes out to nothing for now, Greg, while they're deciding. But I think we get the freaking debut, which I can't even believe. Because that would be the debuts of debuts, right? Shane McMahon. Not, we've seen some WWE people, but this is McMahon, not, So, but anyways.
Exactly.
Which direction do you think you're going, Greg? And that would be what? Moxley's third title win, which is our fourth.
I'm thinking 3, but
3. Yeah, that's okay. Because he won it way back in the day, and then so third. Okay.
Yeah.
It felt like he's had a lot. So
exactly.
And I do think this is Brian. Like I said, I think going off air now, it would be nice to go off air and you have Brian get all the love. I think he still gets some flowers at the end of the day, Greg, because I do think this is it for him as a full-time wrestler.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing that this is going to be a great retirement match, and they're going to have a violent and bloody title match, and this is probably going to be just the way they want it. Just all the shenanigans and
Wheeler. Sorry, I did forget Wheeler. He turns on Brian.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's going to be the final. The old yeller him, and then Wheeler's going to be the one to put the final bullet in him. And just
there we go. Look at the comment we just got, Greg.
Yep.
Yes, which we heart this. We like it. We subscribe to that.
Yeah, we've had the little Easter eggs from Moxley where he comes out and he told Tony Schiavone, this isn't your company anymore.
Yeah, it's not about you.
Right. And the rumbling's been there about Shane, and this would be huge, more huge than CM Punk making his debut.
Yeah.
This would be bigger than that, because as soon as he walks out on that stage, the place is going to go nuts. Because we know who he is and what his appearance means. He's not there just to sit on commentary. He's going to make some big waves.
Yeah.
And then you have to figure a power struggle between Tony Khan and himself. But where's the struggle? It's Tony Khan's company. So did he go and scoop some shares behind his back and buy out some of his partners? And you can spell all that out.
There's a lot more that you could play out with Shane being behind all of this. Now, does that deter the turn of Wheeler Yuta on Bryan Danielson? I guess that's where I am starting to question my own thinking. Like, what do you want the bigger deal to be? Wheeler Yuta putting the nail in the coffin of Bryan Danielson? Or do you want Shane McMahon revealed? Like I said, AEW is all about the big, we're just going to throw everything. I mean, they did debut Adam Cole, followed by Bryan Danielson, Greg. So I think it can work out both ways, because you can have, Moxley and Cesaro talking up on Wednesday why Shane is there, and then also thanking Wheeler for coming to the the right side of the fence. So
Yeah, well, we can finish off with Uter. Oh, you. I guess his name
We are
Wheeler.
Yuta.
So I'm combining both of them. Go,
Yeah.
Wuda, but
Yeah, there you go.
that he's the one who puts the final bullet in, and that's our big match revelation, and then
Yeah.
um, when Moxley's holding up his title and points at the stage, and Shane comes out, you can end on a cliffhanger right there. He doesn't have to say anything.
That's true.
He
Yeah.
just has to stand there and
Yeah,
let
you could not
everybody
even have
absorb
him.
what they're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Wednesday, he can explain everything.
Everything. Yeah, that's
But
true.
all he has to do is stand on the ramp and let people take in what they're looking at, because
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
going to be the most bizarro thing we've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to end it right there.
Yeah, I actually like that idea. You just go off air with not necessarily knowing, why Shane is he totally aligned with them or not. And
Right.
then maybe you open it up on Monday night or on Monday night on Wednesday night. So, but
Right.
you're calling for Moxley to get the win, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we have Excalibur and JR standing there, minds blown.
Yeah.
That's Shane McMahon. What does this mean? And then they're getting all the overhyping it, and then boom, fade to black.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Well, that's all we got for today. We wanted to make sure we got you out. Sorry, had to go a little bit later today, but appreciate Greg being flexible. And so, who your Chargers got tomorrow, real quick?
We got the Broncos.
Okay.
Bo Nix.
Match.
And I think we had bye week last week, so we needed it. There's a bunch of injuries to the big stars, like your team, not just the second and third string guys.
Yeah.
Talking about Joey Bosa, talking about
Herbert.
Justin Herbert, talking both our offensive tackles. Derwin James was suspended last game, so they needed to circle the wagons, get everybody healed up, and looks like they're going to be ready. Yeah. And Denver's won 3 in a row. The Chargers haven't won in Denver since 2018, 2019. And, they need to hit the ground running for the next, 12, 10, 11 games, and with a full strength unit. So I think we're going to come out and make Bo Nix realize he's still a rookie and, get this win. So let's go Chargers. And tonight is opening night for my I Hate Shakespeare play live in front of
Good luck with that.
Thank you. And it's going to be awesome. It's a great collection of one acts where they're convincing a Shakespeare hater that is actually not that bad. Watch these scenes.
Oh, okay.
And so it's good stuff. I think we're going to be live streaming it somehow. So
okay.
Maybe a way to pass that along so people can see it.
Good.
But we'll see. Opening night is always chaos, but fun chaos. So looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, everybody have a good weekend. I'm on another week of fall break, so I'll get to enjoy a week. Got a dentist appointment on Tuesday. So exciting, Greg. Had doctor's appointment last week. Had to get blood work. Man, I am just living the life over here. Let me tell you. So, but anyway, so good times. But yeah, got Stephen Manor looking all pretty. Gonna have some friends over next Saturday night for that and their kids. Hopefully get a nice little turnout for that. And so good times. I can't believe we're a quarter of the way through the NFL season. We got Pacers and Suns kicking off preseason games, and that starts up in 2 weeks. So the best time of the year is October through December.
Agreed.
And where it feels like it's just October, December, that type of stuff. So, but anyways, so enjoy the weekend, enjoy your day, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Peace.